We are back, ladies and gentlemen, after a long summer break, and what an event to start off with. We've got the Rags to Riches Sprint Series. It is a team event, and of course this is a way to qualify for the Grand Finals, the SimGrid and VCO Grand Finals, which is a new series they've put together in order to get the likes of pro esports drivers and amateur drivers together as well. We've got a very competitive grid here tonight, and of course on provisional pole a lot of Lamborghinis actually as well. It used to be Ferraris, it's now Lamborghinis, but on provisional pole it is Tobias Gronwald here on a 122.4, and he's up 0.2 as well, but it's going to be Boothby who puts it on a provisional pole. 122, almost flat there, and he's going to return the car to the pits. Gronwald manages to improve, but just a 10th off. We've got Danny Tillich about to come up to the final corner, not on a lap currently. Who else is up on their time? Vitbit coming up towards the penultimate corner, 0.2 up at the moment, but currently a P12, and we've got the top 18 drivers separated by just a second, and Vitbit's going to come through the final corner now, putting the car on the inside, using the camber of the corner, and then back over towards the pit wall as he comes across the line. 1/10 up, and he's going to jump up into P11 there. Good improvement from him. We've got Vozdetsky back with us as well. Was unable to complete last season's championship, had some issues, but he's back now and in a team this time, and we will go through the teams in just a moment. There are quite a lot, so we won't get through all of them, but at least I will talk you through them as we go through. But of course, Pitbull Racing, Vozdetsky is in, I'm currently in P13, not up for an improvement just yet. We've got Albash approaching the final corner now in the McLaren 720S Evo. He's 4/10 up. 4/10 is going to jump him right up to around P20. That's a possible 6 positions here. 5/10 now. I think it's possibly P19 even, but let's see as he crosses the line. What is it going to be? It is exactly P19, and getting within that second mark to our pole sitter here, Boothby. Once again, has competed with us before, but is now got much more competition, I'd say, in this championship. It's so close here, and on a track like Brands Hatch, well, qualifying's close and the race is going to be even closer, I think, especially when we've got battles going on throughout the field. People can back each other up quite a lot on this track. It's so difficult to overtake, and it looks like that Thomas there has jumped up into P6, 122.610, so off a second off of Boothby, but he's in the mix there amongst some top esports drivers, which is great to see. Now the driver for Red Kings Motorsport, I believe they have 3 teams signed up to this championship, which is good to see. And looks like now Ben Crook is up on his time. I'm not sure if this is an error. I believe it is an error because it's showing he's 32 seconds quicker than what he should be. Yeah, so that is an error, but he has just started another lap here, using all the exit there out of turn 3, and it's so important here up towards turn 4 to get a brilliant exit, get on the power as soon as possible and limit the amount of wheel spin you get. There is a bump on the exit as well, so that can cause the car to unsettle slightly, but it is a long straight down towards this fast right-hander. So easy to get on the power a bit too early and run wide, as we see the McLaren just up ahead do. It's exactly what I was talking about there, but the McLaren ahead in a Golf livery, which is really nice actually. You can see there the rear of the car sliding out ever so slightly just to get the front turned in, and now up towards the final corner. But what will Ben Crook be able to do? He's currently down a 123.165, and he rounds the final corner. Is it going to be an improvement? It looks to be quite a clean lap. But with the grid so close, let's see what is it going to be for Crook. No improvement that time around, unfortunately, as he crosses the line. But Thomas up into P3 now, only two, well, let's say 3/10 off of Boothby, and he's a 10th up already. Still got another half of the lap to go. He could be the one to challenge Boothby and Gronwald for the race win here. Lamborghini has got some serious pace around Brands Hatch. Boothby and the McLaren, of course, but Thomas is on a roll here, and we've seen him win championships in the past, but this is another level. He's come back to the SimZone, and he's here to show what he's worth as he comes up towards the final corner now. 2/10 up, got a bit onto the grass there, has to thread the needle between two cars there, but he's still a 10th up as he approaches the final corner now. What's it going to be? I think, oh, Boothby improves though, 122.012, and Thomas is going to cross the line. Does improve, but it's not enough there to get in front of Gronwald. But there we have it. He's still up there in the top three, and Gronwald's now a 10th up as well. This is going to be super close between the top two now as we approach the last 2 minutes of this qualifying session. Super close, and make sure, ladies and gents, to hit that like button, sub if you're new as well. We've got a lot of support for Thomas as well. We've got a lot of comments coming in too. We'll read them in just a moment. Gronwald is 2/10 up, using all of the track available here. Like I said earlier, getting the rear out ever so slightly, get the front turned in, just using that slip angle. But once again, we've seen the same mistake that Thomas made from Gronwald now as well. Getting onto the grass a bit too much. Now he's lost a 10th, but it still could be. Oh, here he's now 2/10 up. He's got a great exit out of the final corner, and here we go. He's going to cross the line to put it on provisional par, 121.960. That is unbelievable pace here from Gronwald, and Boothby half a 10th behind, but we can't leave him out of this one. He is up on his time. He was a 10th up, but made a bit of a mistake into turn 2 and 3, but now this is where it counts. He's got a good exit here, coming down the long back straight, a 10th up. It's going to be such a close qualifying session between, well, the most of the grid here. You can see how close everyone is at the moment, and oh, bit of dirt, bit of dust and grass flying up into the air there. We've got a bit of traffic up ahead, and Boothby using a lot of the track there on the inside. He's 2/10 up, and as soon as someone improves, he seems to be able to grab some more time out of the bag from somewhere. And here we go, approaching the penultimate corner. He's got some traffic up ahead, but he's run slightly wide. That's not going to help, and one of the McLarens there just moving out of the way, so he won't have any dirty air going into the final corner. And here we go, he could possibly even use the slipstream from McLaren ahead, but I think that's a bit far-fetched. He crosses the line. There we go, to gain back pole here in this qualifying session. Boothby 121.810, so the only two drivers able to make it into the 121s, Boothby and Gronwald. Absolute stunning pace for the both of them. And Demori here, Pina, another Red Kings Motorsport driver, was up for an improvement, but 7/10 off here, the provisional pole time. Let's see who else is going to improve, and the qualifying timer is about to hit 0, so anyone crossing the line as it does will have completed their qualifying session. And Borodai in P26 currently about to cross the line, 1/10 up, but no, he looks like he's lost it there in the final corner. No shame there from Borodai, but there we have it. Boothby P1, Gronwald P2, and Chassé just put it into P3 there. We'll be back in just a moment for the start of this 90-minute race, so make sure to stay tuned. Right, ladies and gents, we've got the drivers lined up on the grid. It is a short formation lap, unfortunately, but doesn't mean the racing's not going to be good. And we are going to bring up the pit stops here that we've got for this race as well. So it's different to what we usually do. I'll explain that later on in the race, because it is just a short formation lap, and we are about to get going very, very shortly. But let's bring that up now. Here we go. About to get going. It's Malinowski in the car for the start of the race, and Grunwald lining up on the front row as well. So it's change of drivers there for Veloce. And here we go. It is Malinowski now with a good start, but it looks like Grunwald's got an even better start. They're trying to hang it around the outside. They're into turn 2. They now go up towards, and looks like the Lamborghini of Grunwald still holding around the outside, squeezing Malinowski there to the inside of the corner, trying to maximize the his speed throughout the outside as well, but unfortunately hasn't been able to get that done. Malinowski holds on into P1, Grunwald in P2, Michael Thomas still in P3, Chassé in P4, so not really any position changes with those four, apart from actually Thomas up to P3 now, so he's got a position off the start. Tillich in P5 side by side here with, I believe that is Garcia, the two Lamborghinis. One of them is, I believe, Garcia's in the Jean Alesi esports team as well. And he's looking for a move, but a bit of contact between the two, and now he's possibly going to lose a position to, that is Valentin Barrier from Yassit, actually. So starting the race here, his teammate is Jardia as well, so another big team competing in this event. But Barrier, currently P6, has gained a position off the start, so he's now up into P6, starting P7. Let's have a look further down the field just for a moment. Crook making a move there on Vitvu down into P14, but we've got a 3 abreast, no 2 abreast, almost 3 abreast now, with Crook with a bad exit through the final corner, had a bit of oversteer, and looks like he's going to get swarmed here, and contact has been made. That looked like Crook was late on the brakes, luckily keeps it out of the barriers. But we go back towards the race leader, Boothby, who is still holding on here against Grunwald. Actually, oh sorry, it is Boothby, so that had to update for us. It didn't just switch mid-race, that's not possible. That was just a HUD error, but yeah, it is Boothby still in the car. And he is now pulling away slightly from Grunwald, who's now having to fend off Thomas here. Thomas is very, very close to the back of Grunwald, and he's looking maybe not to make any moves just yet. He's probably going to try and stick with him. If they start fighting, they're going to lose sight of Boothby and P1, who's already pulled a second gap to the rest of the field here. Barrier on the back of Tillich now, catching up. He's got some good race pace, does Barrier. Seems to be quicker than the rest in front of him compared to qualifying, at least, because he's really catching up. He's so consistent here, not making any mistakes, as Tillich, as we saw, went onto the dirt through the penultimate corner. A bit of oversteer for both of the two drivers here through the final corner. Look further behind, that's Garcia and Demori battling for position, and it looks like that is Thomas almost making a move on Grunwald into turn 1, but Grunwald holds on into P2, and they are battling hard, and as a result, Chassé, Tillich and Barrier all catching up now. Let's get an onboard here with Thomas as we head down towards turn 3. You see slightly different lines between the two. Thomas taking a bit more of the inside. That could have been a mistake from Grunwald, actually. And once again, different lines between the two. Grunwald with much more entry speed there, and I think it may have helped him. He's been able to carry that speed from the entry to the exit. Slipstream here coming in Thomas's favour. A bit of oversteer there for Grunwald, but he's pushing the car to the limit. Understeer and oversteer mixed in, and that's when you know you're on the absolute limit of the car. But surely those tyres won't be lasting too long in the race. Thomas seems to be a lot more stable through the corners, looking after those tyres a bit more. Grunwald using a lot more slip angle here to help get the car rotated and find that extra lap time. But again, tyres is a big question here. Although they do have a mandatory tyre change in the pit stops, you really don't want to ruin your tyres in the first 40 minutes, because that's when the pit window opens, and it is a pit window of 10 minutes, so you don't have much time to make the pit stop. And Thomas with a huge mistake into turn 1 there. Is he going to be able to hold on to P3? He is for now, but this has brought Chassé even closer. Let's look further down the field. We've got so many battles going on here. We've got Borodai in P22. Looks like he's fending off the Audi. Oh, very late move there down the inside. Borodai's made contact with Vercelli, and looks like he's been pushed back down to P23, losing 2 positions as a result. So the Kulash driver down into P23 now. He's not going to be happy with that, but it is a long race. Luckily, it doesn't look like he's picked up too much damage, and he will continue on. But that's going to be down towards the stewards after the race. And Ivanuk here in P24 has got the McLaren of Pachenko very close behind. Pachenko, that reminds me of a film. I can't remember what film. It'll come to me in a second. But yeah, Pachenko holding on well. Where did he start in the race? He started P25, so hasn't lost or gained any position just yet. So quite a good start for him, consistent. But he looks like he's taking it easy for now, which is what you want to be doing in a long race like this. Boothby still in the lead of the race, 1.5 seconds in front of Grunwald. And look how much time Thomas has lost. He's now in a battle with Chassé here. Grunwald is not really going to be Thomas's focus at the moment, although that could change if a mistake is made between any driver here really. Let's go down to the battle for P8. Vozdetsky has got quite a few cars on the back of him. Look at that train of cars in the background. We're only 7 minutes in, and we've got yellow flags out on circuit. It's actually Borodai who's made a mistake. And oh, there's been contact there. Borodai being tapped around. And it looks like he made a mistake in the corner previously, but he's going to keep going, which is good to see. Getting the rear out. And that grass, really, really slippery there. But yeah, Borodai down into P34. Not going to be happy with that whatsoever. Let's go back quickly to Vozdetsky in this battle for P8, and this train of cars he's got behind him. Going to be quite intimidating if he looks in his rearview mirror, which he's going to have to, because he's got Koroshavin extremely close. And this is a few Lamborghinis actually. We've got 3 Lamborghinis, possibly even 4 in this battle, but we've got a BMW M4 there in the mix. Fischer, who's raced with us previously last season actually. And Palatella in the Ferraris also raced with us previously too. So a lot of familiar faces in this race. We've got a few comments coming in now. We've got people saying good luck with the stream. Steph saying this race is going to be insane. It has been insane so far. Carol saying Cody in a great scrap. And where is he at the moment? Let's have a look. Esselink is currently in. I can't find his name. There's too many drivers on the grid. He's in P31 at the moment. We'll have a look at him in just a moment. He is in a good scrap with Kana. Yes, you are correct. Both drivers from Adweiser Racing Team in identical Porsches here. Unfortunately, Esselink doesn't have a teammate for this round, so he will be picking up a penalty post-race for not switching drivers. But back to this battle we go. We've got the Philippi for the Ballas Esports team. Actually a lovely livery there from that McLaren, and that is Demora, who we saw had a bit of contact with one of the drivers earlier in this race. But quickly, let's have a look now at this battle for P8. Still as it were, nothing changed there. Boothby once again continuing to open that gap to Grunwald. This man is unstoppable so far. Let's hope we don't put the commentator's curse on him, but it's 2 or 3 seconds there to Grunwald now. And what's that? Grunwald is pulling away from Thomas as well. Thomas has got Chassé right on his tail here. Let's get an onboard camera, front right wheel camera here on the McLaren. Don't worry, the cameras don't slow down the cars. And here we go. He's going to use the slipstream here. It's not going to be close enough to go for a move. And he might get a bit of air wash here. I because he's so close, but doesn't look like it. That McLaren proving to be quite good in dirty air. He's just sticking behind, continuously putting that pressure onto Thomas, but you can see a bit slower there through the corner, through that fast right-hander up the hill. Dingledale corner, you can call it. There's a few other names for turn 7 as well. But he is very, very close and continuing to put on that pressure, although making a few mistakes. Seems to be going in a bit too deep while following the Lamborghini and compromising his exit. As you can see now, it's opened up to half a second. It looks like we've had a move for P19 here. I believe that is Tempest now in front of Belhassan. Belhassan trying to fight back for that position. He's not going to let this one go so easily. But he's got a good exit out of turn 1. Is he going to look to send it up into turn 2? He's not close enough yet, but look at this, he's still right behind. And looks like we've also had another change in position. Crook down a position there, P29. Looks like he's trying to get past Battistella. Battistella with lots of damage on the front of that Lamborghini. Has had an incident somewhere where we didn't see. Still keeping Crook behind, and a bit of oversteer there once again from Battistella. He's really struggling with that car now and that damage that he's picked up. And looks like he may be losing this position very shortly, especially down the straight, where that damage is going to come into play even more. It's not going to be enough. That's Crook looking down the inside. Let's hope he doesn't tap the rear of Battistella's Lamborghini, and he doesn't. Backs out of that one sensibly. And we move up now towards P17. There's so much going on throughout this field. But we'll see if we can get our secondary camera up and running as well. But it's still these. Oh, well, there's more than 4 cars here. And oversteer for the both of them. That's River looking for a move on Filippi, and he's going to get it done. He does. Down the inside he goes. Let's get a helicam of this battle. We've got some brilliant helicams here at Brands, and that's Demori. He's now caught back up to this train as well. Bitroot capitalizing on that mistake from Filippi, and up he goes into P16. Now Vitroot started in P14, so he's dropped back since the start. We've seen him have some contact earlier on in the race, and Demori as well started P9, so he's completely out of position here. But hopefully after the pit stops we'll see him climb up the order once again. Of course, Brands Hatch, as we mentioned earlier, such a difficult track to overtake on. You pretty much have to either force the driver ahead into a mistake or wait for them to make a mistake themselves to be able to get a move done. As long as you can park the car on the apex, it's pretty much game over. But here we go, we've got 4 cars in this train. We've got Koroshavin, Tillich, Fisher, and I believe that's it actually. Vuzdetsky is just up ahead, but slightly pulling away from this battle. He's made a mistake there into turn 1. Coming up towards turn 2, he's still ahead, but his tyres seem like they're starting to wear quite quickly. The track temp is 35 degrees, 26 ambient temp as well. The drivers seem to be pushing the car quite hard, maybe not looking after the tyres, which, well, their race engineers are going to be telling them what the strategy is, whether they push as hard as they can on the first set and look after the second, or do the alternate strategy. We go down to P13. Akovsky. I don't know if I've said that right, but I hope I have. And Schubeck behind P14, Albash and Vitroot all in another battle, and Palatella just up ahead of these 4 as well. We've got so many cars in the train here. Let's bring up our secondary camera in another battle. Battle for P2 still going on, P3 sorry, still going on strong. We'll bring that up in just a second. Here we go, in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, that is Thomas and Chassé still battling for position there. P2 and P3, sorry, P3 and P4 battling for position. Now Thomas looks like he's been able to hold off Chassé for quite a while, but how long can he keep it up? Will the pressure eventually get to him? Just gonna have to wait and see here. 15 minutes into the race already, and the pit window still about 25 minutes away. The drivers are looking to stop around the 45-minute mark, so pretty much bang on halfway into the race. That way they can maximize the tyre life in both stints. And of course, there's going to be different strategies with undercuts and overcuts. Undercuts mainly on this track because it's so narrow. But look at the train of cars we've got here. So it's Alatella, Makovsky, Schubeck. We've got Albash behind, Vitvut behind that in P16. Philippi in P17, Demori P18, Tempest P19, and that is how many cars? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars all in a train here, all battling for the same space on track, which isn't going to be easy whatsoever. Now let's have a quick read of the comments with the dad jokes. Wait, what dad joke did I make? I don't remember making a dad joke. Steph Jake saying, don't mention the commentator's curse, it hasn't worked in the past. Yeah, it hasn't. It really hasn't. Cascanova, good to see you, showing support for Red Kings. Simon Mello, good to see you as well. Believe you weren't able to race today. I'm not sure it's because of your teammate, or not sure what's happened, but hope to see you for the next round. We'll speak of that in just a moment. Let's go back to this battle for P6. Barrier P5 now. Garcia P6. So he's moved up 2 positions, has Barrier, since his qualifying start. P7 he qualified in. Back to the top 2 as well. Boothby P1 leading the race from the start. Hasn't had any issues. Has been so consistent and now has the fastest lap of the race as well. 1:22.445. Grunwald in P2 was sort of sticking with Boothby at the start of the race, but dropped off as he had to defend from Thomas for quite a few laps. But his fastest lap of 1:22.560. Now actually 0.3 slower that last time around was Grunwald compared to Boothby, so still Grunwald not able to catch up and losing time lap after lap. That's just going to allow Boothby to give his teammate, when he swaps the car, a bit of a comfortable gap in case there are any mistakes in the pit stop, because of course we know there can be time lost or won in the pit stops. It's so easy to make a mistake there. We've seen it happen in real life, we've seen it happen on the sim. Course, easier to make a mistake in real life than it is on the sim. Your pit crew are pretty much AI bots who will do it for you. All you have to do is stop in your box correctly, and even though that can still be quite a difficult thing to do until it getting a bit of air there to Dingledale corner and getting the rear out. Once again, these Lamborghinis seem to love getting the rear out ever so slightly, and looks like Tillich, he's got even closer to Koroshavin just in front. He's going to need everything he can to get past, because these 3 drivers have been so even on pace, all in the 23 3s to 23 4s has been the pace between these 3 Lamborghini drivers. We're going to need something special here to overtake one another. It could be a mistake, but we'll have to see. And we've still got now Thomas actually pulling away from Chassé. The gap's about a second between those two, so we'll try and find another battle on track. Well, I say try, there's plenty going on, and looks like that is Pachenko now down into P22. Lee saying about the cameras won't show the car down. Slow the car. Oh yeah, that was, you know, you have to get the dad jokes in. Pachenko is in a bit of a sandwich here. He's got Ivanyuk right behind him. Actually, no, sorry, that's not Ivanyuk. That is... who is that? Is that someone who's pitted already? Or is that a race leader? I will have a look in a moment, but I think we have had a team who has pitted already. I think it is. There we go. Yeah, it's Bezulov, who have had to pit, possibly for damage. Well, that hasn't gone well for them so far, but they're going to have to try and gain as many points back as possible. One of the U amateur teams, yeah, I believe Ukrainian team here. I think they have about 3 or 4 teams registered to this championship. I may be mistaken, but we go back up towards P18. That looks like Tempest has made a move on Philippi. Philippi making quite a few mistakes here. He's in fact dropped a second off of P18 now. And look at this battle. We cannot miss. Cannot miss this. Let's go on board now with the Lamborghini driver of Demori at the back of this train. A good view of this battle up in front. Heading towards, well, turn 330 is down towards this back straight. Towards Hawthorne Bend. Probably one of the fastest corners on the circuit. Using a bit of the curb on the inside to get the car hooked around. But look how close this battle is. In fact, that's Albash in the McLaren is being squeezed there between 2 of the cars. I believe that's Vivek behind him and Schubeck in front. He's got nowhere to go at the moment. Let's get a quick helicam of this battle. And it looks like Vivek eyeing up a move down the inside, has a look, tries to sell him the dummy, but it doesn't work in a fast corner like that. Not a very, very heavy braking zone. Probably better to do it into turn 2 Druids, where you really have to slow the car down for that tight corner. And looks like that's a mistake from Palatella. Huge mistake there. Looks like he dipped the wheel to the gravel, and that's another mistake there from Vitvoot. Into the gravel he goes. He's kept the car rolling though, and that's one of the braking boards gone as well. Luckily kept it out of the barriers. That could have been heavy damage for the number 62 car, but keeps on going. But that's a costly mistake, and here we go once again. Bit of contact between the two. That was Albash. Looked like he may have turned in slightly too early there. Palatella did have the inside of the corner, but he's lost all that speed down the straight, and Demori's going to try it around the outside, side by side here into Hawthorne Bend. It's not going to work. It could be a switchback here for Demori, and it is. He's going to have the inside for the next corner. That's Palatella onto the grass as well, and there we go. Brilliant move there from Demori. Ran that well back, and now up into P14. So he's on a recovery drive is Demori, and now he's going to look for the next car ahead, which is Schubeck, 2 seconds up the road. But that is Palatella down into P15. Just goes to show one mistake and you can lose so many positions. But look at this, Whitboot so close here, and then it looks like the McLaren dipping a wheel onto the grass. Whitboot, after that mistake, has clawed his way back very quickly actually, and all contact between the two. And that's ACC contact physics for you. Both cars being bounced out quite wide there. Luckily no serious damage for either driver. Let's quickly go back to the race leader Boothby with a 5-second lead now to Grunwald. That last time round, once again 3/10 quicker. So it seems that Boothby is consistently lapping quicker than Grunwald. 3/10 a lap at this level is very well, it's a lot. It's so much quicker. You put that into a 90-minute race, and that is seconds of lap time being lost here for Grunwald. McLaren, a very quick car, but at the end of the day, it does come down to the driver as well. It looks like Thomas still maintaining that second gap to Chassé P3 and P4. We go back down to P9. Koroshavin and Tillich, and Vozdetsky actually, all in this Lamborghini train. No position changes between those three, and you can see in the background that is Fisher in P11 for West Competition Racing. I believe they may not have submitted their livery. Hopefully we can get that done for next round. And Albash, just looking now, is we've had a yellow flag here coming up towards Druids. Makovsky has made a mistake there. Into P13 goes. Schubeck up into P12. But Albash, P15, has made a move on Palatella. Palatella's lost another position down into P16 he goes. He started P15 this race. Hasn't done too badly, but he's going to need a very strong second half of the race here to claw back these positions that he made early on in the race. That's obviously going to be down to his teammate as well. We go back down to P22, Pashenko. That's the movie. Death Race. Pashenko and Death Race. That's what I was thinking of. Right. I'm glad I got that sorted now, and he's looking for a move down the inside there. Tries to sell Leonard the dummy, but it doesn't work. At number 159, Audi completely focused on the track ahead of him. Knows that Pashenko can't send it down the inside just yet, but he's got a brilliant exit, and now he's going to have to go defensive coming up towards the final corner. Places the car in the middle of the track, and back over to the racing line he goes. Great defending there from Leonard, leaving no room for Pashenko to go for a move. They've got to be careful, although actually that is a back marker, so not really fighting for position with them at this moment in time. And huge mistake there. I'm surprised Pashenko was able to catch that. That could have been race ending there for the McLaren driver. Let's quickly go up to the battle for P16 again. Palatella, Tempest, Philippi, Vitvoot, and well, Hassan not far off either now. You can see him there in the background in that green Ferrari 296. But we've got Philippi now looking to go slightly defensive, thinking of putting the car in the middle of the track, but no need. Not really an overtaking place this corner unless you're side by side beforehand. You sounded like an auction jumper. Well, you have to be quick when you're commentating. I can slow it down for you guys if you want. I think I probably should, otherwise I'm going to lose my voice by the end of this race. But still, this four-car battle continues, and that is a great exit from Vitvoot. And in fact, that is Philippi now going defensive up towards turn one. Vitvoot looking for a late move down the inside. Sticks his nose there, but late on the brakes there from Philippi, and Vitvoot not able to get that done. And looks like just up ahead, we've got Palatella side by side with Tempest. Once again, has the inside, but no. They're side by side in the exit, almost. And is anyone going to go for a move into Graham Hill Bend? No, they're not. And Palatella holds on once more. Surely, with the mistakes that Palatella has made, he's cooked his tyres by this point, and is probably hoping for that pit window to open, which should open, I believe, in about 12 minutes, 12 and a half minutes. But we will see. We go back to Pashenko, who's glued to the rear bumper of Leonard, but no move is going to be made just yet. Let's have a look what's going on with the race leader, Boothby. 6 seconds now is the gap between Boothby and Grunwald. Has opened up massively, but look who has caught back up. Chassé has now caught back up to Thomas here, P3 and P4. And this is definitely not over. Will these two continue to battle when they switch drivers? Who knows? It could be a completely different story. But at the moment, they're just focusing on themselves here. And we'll start getting ready for the driver change, I'm sure. They'll have that planned already. But we just have to wait and see here. We go back down to P13 then. Makovsky, Demori and Albash still continuing to battle, and all that is one of the BMWs wide, it looks like. I believe it was a back marker, but actually I'm not sure. Was that Fisher? It could have been a different BMW. Let's hope not. Actually, yeah, it wasn't Fisher. He's still in P11. Hasn't had any position losses within the last 30 seconds or so. So it's still 11 for him. So it was another BMW. But we've got that battle back up between P3 and P4. battle for the final podium spot for round one, and Makovsky getting the rear out through the penultimate corner, coming up towards the final corner now. Demori's got a brilliant run, doesn't look towards the inside, but he's gonna be close enough probably to get a move done into turn one. Look at this, he's going to use the slipstream of the Ferrari in front, and surprisingly that's Makovsky not going for the defensive line there, and it looks like he's going to try and hang it around the outside. Oh, the curb on the inside there for Demori, pushing him wide, almost making contact, and Makovsky holds it around the outside. So brilliant defending there. Somehow was able to keep that position, but I think Demori mounting the curb on the inside didn't help him whatsoever. He had to slow down to avoid making contact. In fact, he's made a mistake there through Graham Hill Bend, and that's now Albash looking left and right, trying to go for a move. Yeah, looking for a later apex, who's going to give him the better exit speed down the straight here, up towards Hawthorne Bend. And let's see, can he get alongside before the braking zone? It doesn't look like he'll be able to. So we look back now towards this battle. These four drivers, that is Palatella, Tempest, Vitvu and Filippi, still all battling together. This has been absolutely amazing so far. Let's have a quick read of the comments once again. TFJ is saying, as someone who's not from England, yes please. Okay, I'll slow it down, don't worry. I think we need some subtitles on this one. We'll see, I'll slow it down. But looks like a mistake there from Tempest. These four drivers so close. They've been like this for the majority of the race so far. It looks like now that's Thomas catching up. I believe a back marker in front. It was one of the Mercedes, I think. It looks like they've let the leaders through now. We've still got that battle going on now between P3 and 4. Look at these four drivers sticking together. I'm not sure if they really want to be battling that hard at this point in the race. The pit window is about to open, so it could be just a decision of either waiting for the drivers in front to pit first to get into clean air, or pitting earlier than the drivers in front to try and get that undercut. They've been chopping and changing positions, these four drivers, and as a result losing to the cars ahead. And look at this once again, super close between P3 and P4 here in this race. But Chassis not able to get past. Oh, I could have spoken too soon here. Thomas wide there onto the grass. Seems to be feeling the pressure now. Chassis really close. And looks like that is actually Tempest down the inside of Palatella. Palatella maybe even losing another position here to Vitvu. Thomas holds on for now. What can Chassis do? The pressure is piling up on Thomas now. He's been in this position before where he's had to defend for quite a while. He's a very experienced driver, so I'm sure he'll be able to deal with it, but you never know what's going on in his mind right now. Behind that helmet, there could be worry from Thomas, but he's been in such a good position so far this race, so I'm sure he's going to be enjoying this battle at the moment nevertheless. And we go back to the 4-car train. It's now Tempest leading the pack with Palatella P17, Vitvu P18 and Filippi P19. But let's see what else is going on. The Lamborghini battle between Vozdetsky, Koroshavin and Tillich has closed up even more. Looks like that's one of the Mercedes who are back markers just behind. Jan saying P39 and P31. I believe that is Disco and Besselink, which is good to see. So we've got, actually, that's another Red Kings Motorsport driver, and Besselink in the Advisor Racing team, of course. Still pushing hard in this race, even though he is the sole driver able to attend for this round. He's doing a good job, is Besselink. It's not going to be easy driving a 90-minute race, but of course he will have a bit of a break with the pit stop in between. Battistella sort of lapping around on his own. Actually, he's got the Sceptura in front. With that damage, it's going to be painful, but he's done the best thing here. He's held on to it, not pitted, and he's just driving through the damage at the moment, waiting till the pit window opens so he can finally pit, and he will only have to make one pit stop as a result. Back up to P22, Pashenko, and in fact, it looks like Thomas in a bit of traffic now. What's happened here? Looks like Thomas is down into P9. He's made a mistake somewhere. We'll see if we can bring up a replay, because I didn't catch that. But what has happened to Thomas here? He's down into P9, and it looks like Pashenko really batting with Leonard, trying to get past. These two have been inseparable for quite a while now. But for Pashenko, I think it's all about patience here, and that's the trick to driving at narrow circuits like Brands Hatch. Pretty much most of the British circuits, really, barring Silverstone, which is completely different. Yeah, we will bring up a replay soon of what happened to Thomas. So if anyone is watching, let us know as well. We'll do both, actually. Bring up the replay as well, and if anyone did see what happened, please do inform us. But I really hope it wasn't the commentator's curse. We know Thomas in previous seasons has had some bad luck with back markers, but he's now involved in this battle between Vozdetsky, Koroshavin, and Tillich as well. Fischer there down in P11 has caught back up to this battle. Where did Fischer start? P13, so he's made good progress since the start of this race, but BMW maybe not the best, or maybe not as good as it used to be at Brands. We'll see in throughout the championship. It's still round one, still early days here, and we'll see what Fischer can do. He did compete with us last season in the Porsche Track Day Championship, where he was able to challenge Daniel Savini right till the end. So he is definitely one to look out for, is Fischer. From West Competition Racing. Obviously they will be switching drivers very, very shortly. It looks like Whitboot down into P19 now has made a mistake. Philippi up into P18, and up he goes. And looks like this four-car battle. Oh, that was nearly race ending there from Philippi, getting a rear wheel onto the grass that could have sent him straight into the pit wall. But yeah, it could have been a race ending there, and now this battle, this four-car battle, has separated into two-car battles. And back to the race leader we go now. Boothby with an 8-second lead. Once again, lapping in the 123s, low 123s, but at last lap 7/10 quicker than Grunwald. That is outstanding pace, the way he's been able to keep that throughout the race. The consistency that this man has is unparalleled, and looks like a 123.1 once again from Boothby. What is it going to be for Grunwald as he crosses the line? A 123.8, still another 7/10 quicker. Grunwald, I think, either struggling with the car, the tyres, or he's just really not able to extract the pace that Boothby has in that McLaren. Up towards P9 we go. TFJ saying he spun at turn 3, clipped the grass at entry, so it wasn't a backmarker issue. We'll take a look now at what exactly happened. Yeah, I've just seen it now. We'll bring up the replay in a second, bear with us. Now back to the battle. There we go, pit window is now open. Back to this battle, this two-car battle. Of course, the Lamborghini behind is a back marker, so it won't matter there. But here we go. We'll bring up the replay now. So on the right-hand side of your screen, carried too much entry speed, got the rear out, clipped the grass, as you said, TFJ, and there we go. It was game over for Thomas. Luckily, didn't pick up damage and got the car facing the right way, but losing so many positions after that one. And such a shame because he was doing so well, and I think he's going to get... he's probably going to have a word at me after. Why were you watching me? You put the commentator's curse on me. So yeah, Thomas, apologies. There we go. We can see a lot of drivers now into the pits. The majority of teams will be pitting very shortly. Of course, it's a small pit window that the drivers have got. You know, I think pitting early, if you're in a bit of a battle, is the way to go. In fact, Leonard is pitted in this battle. Pachenko stays out, so now he's in clean air. Might be able to get the overcut done on Leonard. Of course, it comes down to the second driver as well. Do they have enough pace to match the first driver, or are they even quicker? Who knows? We'll only find out as this race progresses. Jan saying he's now going to be in the car for the number 934 Porsche, which is good to see. Good luck to you. But Santoro now in the car for one of the Jean Alessi esports teams. And look at this, he's right at the back of one of the back markers, who I believe they're on different strategies, so there's no blue flags, I don't think. Or at least I don't see any blue flags. No blue flags there. So of course in GT racing, blue flags are advisory, especially in things like endurance races. Of course, obstructions aren't allowed, and there we go, he's going to let him through now. But yeah, compared to F1, blue flags are very different, but we try and simplify things here. Of course, everyone is a sim racer, although we do have some real drivers participating in this championship as well, which is lovely to see. Some real life drivers, I'd say. Everyone is a real driver, quote unquote real, but yeah, you get what I mean. Now we've got the leaderboards shuffling around here, so it's going to be quite hard to keep track of what's going on. But we've got Apostol now in the car for West Competition Racing, so that is Fisher out of the car and Apostol in, and looks like no damage on their cars. So if they did have any before, they've repaired it now. Still in this battle, and I'm not going to attempt to pronounce that name, apologies, but let's call them by their first name. Alexander in the number 14 Lamborghini, who I believe was partnered with Frisdetsky for Pitbull Racing. In P20 just behind, so it does look like the West Competition Racing team has jumped Pitbull Racing there in the pits. They're now ahead, but marginally. There's absolutely nothing separating these four drivers at the moment. Looks like flashing of the lights there from the Iron Lynx Lamborghini just up in front. Let's go to Boothby. It looks like he's held up by a back marker slightly, but of course not really any issues. He's got so much time to work with here. 8-9 seconds. He's going to need to be as patient as possible. We've seen him in, not last season, the season before where he participated with us, how he was navigating through the back markers, which is being as patient as possible and being as predictable as possible. And that's the way to get past. If you try and push a back marker and force them to move over, it's not going to work, and you could easily end up in the wall. Boothby, obviously a very, very experienced driver, knows exactly what he's doing, as you can see, leading the race, of course. And we'll see what he can do for the rest of the race, or what his teammate can do for the rest of the race. Looks like we've got yellow flags at Jan Barth, who's facing the wrong way. What has happened there? Has he did he outbrake himself, or did he pick up some damage? There's no damage on the car, so it may have just been a driver error there from him. We look down towards P30, Patrick Den, in one of the Red Kings Motorsport cars. I believe it was Samuel in the first stint in the car before, and now it is Patrick Den in for the second stint. Colagrasso P24 now in the car. So still a few teams yet to pit. The majority are doing it now. So Boothby into the pits. Is Gromwald still out? He is, and he's going to keep it out for maybe another lap or two, but it's cutting it very, very close. Just 4 minutes left of the pit window to go. So the top, well, 6 teams, a few of them in the pits already. And I think that's it. The rest of the teams are serving their pit stops now. Gromwald keeping it out on track. This could be a massive mistake because he has some traffic in front of him. If he gets held up by, I believe that's one of the Ballas Esports Lamborghinis in front. If he gets held up by them, he's going to lose even more time to Boothby. And let's see what happens. But he's not catching up as quickly as I thought. There we go. They're moving out the way, so not really any time lost from for Gromwald. He's got lucky here. Malinovsky now in the car there for Veloce McLaren. Looks like he's out on track now. There we go. And looks like we've got Honzik Jardia in the car for Yasheed Esports. Only running in P3. Of course, we still have a few teams that are yet to pit. But they started in P7, and Valentin Barrier put in a great stint. So let's see what Honzik can do now for the final 40 minutes of the race. Santoro looking to get a move done on Drovosekov here in P5, just up ahead. Another Ballas Esports team, VS Racing by Ballas Esports. Quite a few teams they have signed up to this championship. And it looks like Cosford P17 still... That's odd. It's Cosford now in the car. Bitfoot has transferred over, but it still shows they have to hit. I'm just going to double check that, because there may be an error with our HUD. Yeah, it is an error, so they have actually served their pit stop, so ignore that. They have actually pitted. And of course Besselink down in P29. Can't currently see him on the track, but Verona, whoa, what's happened here? It's facing the wrong way. Looks like he did make contact with the barriers. That could be rear end damage there on that McLaren, or maybe not, but it's very sideways once again. Going to be dirty tyres as well. Now of course if this was real life, that would have been absolutely horrible as he rejoined the circuit. We would have picked up so much dirt on those tyres, and well, it would have been like a roller coaster in there. especially when you pick up marbles and dirt on the tyres on these slicks. It can be very, very bad in the cockpit of the car, all the vibrations and whatnot, but on the sim you don't really experience that. We go to P13. Looks like Faulkner's got the move done there on Fache, and looks like they have not repaired their damage, so they've continued with their damage. They feel like it's not enough to worth repairing in the pits and losing time. As a result, they stay out on track. Well, they stay out on track with that damage and continue on. It doesn't look to be too much, although it is front splitter damage, and or maybe it is punishing them now through the final corner. Faulkner did go slightly wide. They will be on a fresh set of tyres. They will need to get up to temp and pressure, and that will probably happen in a lap or two or three laps even. Michael saying, I'm stupid, I'm stupid. Yeah, that was such a shame. Michael, you're running so well, but it bodes well for the rest of the championship. Not the crash, well, not the spin, but how you are able to keep it in P3 amongst the best of the best, really. And you're definitely up there, so that's great to see. And a mistake there from the number 14 Lamborghini. Is that going to allow Bykov to get a run here coming up towards the final corner? Looks like it's not going to be enough. It's not. We've had these three Lamborghinis neck and neck since the start. They've switched drivers, and they're now once again neck and neck. Nothing can separate them. They seem to be so even, and this is going to be a brilliant battle, not just in this round, but possibly even in other rounds, since they're so even on pace. And in fact, is that, oops, wrong driver, is that even once again wrong driver? But we'll quickly have a look at this, because Colagrosso is going to go for a move down the inside on Cosford into turn one. Bit of contact between the two. Looks like Colagrosso way too late on the brakes there, forces Cosford wide, and he's not going to be happy about that. That's possibly going to go down to the stewards afterwards. Depends on what they think, what the Brabham Esports team thinks, whether that should be an incident report. I think it will be. That was very cheeky there of Colagrosso. He did miss the apex by quite a lot, and in the end forced Cosford onto the gravel. It definitely would have been a penalty in my eyes, but that's down to the stewards. And we go up towards P9. Once again, this battle continuing, and we did see into Druids. It was a Bykov looking for a move on the Lamborghini ahead of him, which is the number 10, the number 14. But oh, looks like it's going to happen now. No, the number 14 Lamborghini holding on, and the rear end coming out there for Bykov. But he held it nicely, and they seem to have some front splitter damage as well. And a bit more than front splitter damage, actually. It looks like it could be hindering their speed, especially on such a twisty circuit like Brands Hatch. But somehow they still seem to be keeping up with the number 14 Lamborghini, and even got a better exit here. Down towards Hawthorne Bend they go. There's no room left. He's going to look towards the outside here. Has to be careful, almost dipping a wheel onto the grass. And he's going to go for a switchback. He's going to try, but the rear end's out. And oh, that was so close. Well held once again. Once again, that damage proving to be quite difficult there on that Lamborghini 878 of Bykov. Yeah, Jason Cosford did the driver swap, but it did not register. It seems it did register. It's just an error on our HUD, our custom telemetry and HUD and whatnot. So ignore that. That is correct. And looks like Bykov once again trying for a move here on the number 14 Lamborghini, but can't get it done. And look how much time they've lost. Oh, there's been contact between the two, and even again more contact. Looks like that may have been a bit unjustified, but he did get onto the brakes there, did Bykov, and that is number 14 Lamborghini now down into P16, maybe even P17 here. That's lots of positions lost. Thomas Morant now up into P15 there in the Dakota Esports team. And where did they start? They started P21, so they've had a brilliant start to this this championship so far. Of course, it's not over yet. Still 35 minutes left to go. That is plenty of time to gain or even lose positions. And looks like up ahead, that's Salem batting with Fache here. Oh, actually, it's not Fache. No, it is Fache, sorry. Slightly wide there through Hawthorne Bend. And looks like Drovosekov up into P5 there. Gets the move done even before turn 1, and Santoro can't do anything back, but he's going to try to do it into Druids. It isn't going to phase Drovosekov one bit. He sticks to his line and continues to drive ahead without any issues. And once again, a mistake there from Santoro, missing the apex, a slightly wider line than he'd like. Now let's go back to the race leader, Malinovsky. It was Boothby in the car, it's now Malinovsky, and 12 seconds. So even he is extending the gap to the Unicorns of Love team, the URL team. Huben now in the car. That last time around, 1:23.3 from Malinovsky, 1:22.9, so 4/10 quicker, and they are pulling away. Are they going to be unstoppable in this championship? We're going to have to see. It could just be Brands Hatch. Now let's have a look at what we have next round. That could tell us. Oh, it is Spa. It is Spa. We know the McLaren is ridiculous at Spa. So it could be another tough round for Unicorns of Love. But, I mean, you know, never know. Anything can happen. And although this team, Veloce Esports, have been so consistent, it's racing, and anything can in fact happen in racing. And here we go, back to this battle. Let's go on the rear view wing cam here, on board with Fache, Salem in P14 just behind, and Morant just behind them. We're going to get an onboard from Morant as well, just so we can get two perspectives of this battle. And oh, so close between those two, almost making contact, but here we go. On board on your right hand side with Morant, and well, on the rear view cam on the left with Fache. So we've got two perspectives of this battle. You can see there, bit of a dummy there from from Salem. But it's not going to work. Look how close he is. He's got the slipstream. He is inching closer ever so slightly, and that is Fache not going defensive, sticking to the racing line, and he knows, he trusts in himself to hold on to that position, and he knows Salem's not going to go for a move there. Would have been very risky to do so. It looks like Santoro 2/10 off the back of Drovosekov. We'll look at them two in just a moment, but this battle still going on strong. Actually, it's a yeah, it is a 3-car battle. Looks like there's a back marker in between, and oh, there's been contact! No, with one of the back markers. And looks like that, I think that was Patrick Den who's made contact there with the lead cars. That is such a shame. I think he may have just opened up the steering a bit too much. Den in P29. And who did they make contact with? Was that Salem? I think it was P15. Salem, no, Salem's still there, thereabouts. It was with Salem actually. Luckily, not too much damage and not too much time lost. But you can see now carrying a bit of front splitter damage after that incident. But such a shame there. And they're not going to be happy with that whatsoever. Still half an hour left in the race, and to catch up, definitely possible. 2 seconds is not a huge gap when you think about how much time is left in the race. We go on to Ramun here, E19. One of the RTEC esports drivers on the back of Cosford now. Both in green cars. Not that that was necessary, but if you couldn't tell, they are in green cars. But Cosford holding on well here. That last time around, a 1:24.2, 10th quicker than Ramun. But he's made a mistake, huge mistake there through turn 1, and Ramun's going to look up towards the inside of Druids. He's going to keep his nose down the inside. Late on the brakes he goes, and Cosford has to give him the room there. And there we go, Ramun with a good move down the inside. Very opportunistic move, because Cosford could have easily shut the door there and there would have been contact, but luckily it worked out for the two. Well, worked out for Ramun, and well, yeah, I guess worked out for Cosford as well, because he didn't pick up damage in the end. Let's go up to P8. Apostle. Now it looks like he's on the back of Ito. Jan Ito. Okay, that's funny. I believe that's Chris Vining in the car now. That's oh, that's funny. But yeah, Vining now in the car. Aposto in, yeah, just behind. And they've done a good job here, considering they started P13, they're up into P8 now, looking for possibly P7 here. They've done a great job considering where they started. And looks like, I've just seen the delta between Huben and Honzik. It's down to 3 seconds here. So this could be a battle that we may see heat up towards the end of the race. Now, although Huben that last lap was about 3/10 quicker than Honzik, could have been an off lap there for Honzik, but it's about the overall pace here. And if Honzik is able to lap quicker than Huben, I wouldn't say lap after lap, but if he's able to lap quicker the majority of the time, he should be able to reel him in by a bit. But that last time round, 1:23.2, again 2/10 slower. But that gap has come down 3 seconds. I believe it was more beforehand. We go down to P5, Drovosekov and Santoro battling for position here. Santoro from Jean Alessi Esports started in P5, so they've lost their position since the start. Net position is now in P6. Have a look, we've got any more comments coming in. Michael saying lots of battles about to come. Yeah, definitely, they've had battles non-stop throughout this race. Santoro is sticking with Drovosekov. Neither of them are really making any mistakes as of yet. Costa once again are still on the back of Vining. Huge mistake there from Vining. Is there going to be contact? No, but he's facing. Oh, luckily he held that very nicely there, but a mistake there for Vining, and he's clearly not happy about that one. That was, I believe, just driver error, I think. I don't think there was any contact between the two. No contact between the two. Unfortunately, he's going to have to nurse those tyres for the next lap or so. They're going to be cooking at the moment with how hot ambient and track temp is. It looks like we've had a change in position there for P10. That is Warner down the inside of Baikov. Brilliant move there from Warner. And up into P10 now. Where did he come from? He was, well, when we last looked at pit lane esports, they weren't really in this battle with the Lamborghinis, but they've fought back hard. And in fact, Bykov's lost lots of time to the other Lamborghinis he was battling with. Karolski in P9 was in that battle, and of course we had one more Lamborghini. I'm not sure who it was now, actually. I believe it was the number 14. Which I can't actually seem to find, although we still have 34 teams out on track at the moment. Number 14 there. There we go, down into P17 now. In a bit of a train. In fact, they've just passed some lapped traffic. That seems to be one of the Advisor drivers. Is that Bath? No, it's not. That would have been Besselink them in P28. And of course, who's behind him? He's got Den behind him in P29. And I believe that's P34. Just behind them is Abramov, who, well, they've made 3 pit stops this race. In fact, the SPQR racing team have also made 3 pit stops. In a 90-minute race, 3 pit stops is very costly. Brands, although not the longest pit lane, you're going to spend so much time, whether that was repairing the damage or not. You've got to enter the pit lane and go out the pit lane limit, speed limit, and it's just costly time being lost in a 90-minute sprint race. Get back to our race leader, Malinovsky, continuing to well, I'd say extend that gap. He was slightly slower than Huben that last time around, about a tenth slower than Huben. It's been hovering at around 11 seconds. I believe it did jump up to about 12, possibly even 13. But Malinovsky, no reason to push too hard. No reason to push too hard. He's lapping in on his own comfortably here. Of course, can't start to relax too much though. As soon as you start relaxing, that's when mistakes start to happen. You become complacent, and yeah, that's not what Malinovsky needs to do. He's still got his full focus on the race ahead of him, and 20 minutes left to go. Pit window's obviously closed, so anyone who hasn't pitted or hasn't served their mandatory pit stop will receive an automatic penalty at the end of the race. And looks like that is Drobsekov. Oh, someone's dropped down the order here. Bissot losing 2 positions here, almost 3, no, yeah, 2 positions, and Santoro actually trying to get back past now. Bissot up into P5. They're still side by side here, coming up towards Druids, although Bissot's going to have the inside line. Yeah, but oh, that's late on the brakes from Santoro. He's going to try it around the outside to have the inside for turn 3, Graham Hill bend, and he's got his nose there. He's already halfway alongside, and later on the brakes he goes. He's going to have that done. Well, brilliant driving there from the both of them, in fact. It looks like Santoro comes out on top in that little scrap between the two, and down to P13. More looks like he's got past Fache. We've seen these 2 drivers battling early on, and in fact, who's that just up in front? It's one of the Lamborghini teams, I believe it was. No, it's one of the Red Kings Motorsport teams. There's too many Lamborghini teams to count. Who would that have been? I think it may have been back marker, maybe Mr. Oh no, it was Faulkner, sorry. Apologies. Faulkner in P12, just up ahead, 2 seconds up the road here, in front of Moron and Fache. Down to P20, we've got Verona Malari batting for position. That's one of the Mercedes. That's Van Horn, who has just moved out the way there. Michael saying Lambo tire deg is crazy. Yeah, tire deg is quite bad on the Lambos. I mean, most of them you see the rear end coming out, so I'm sure those rear tires are not enjoying their time here at Brands Hatch. Stuart said this lot better not be in the league I signed up to. Yeah, I don't. Well, they're not. You should be okay, but I don't think we will be going ahead with the weekday leagues. I think we may have to cancel them. We will put up a free one. Of course, we will refund everyone, but we'll notify everyone by tomorrow about the situation of that. But yeah, we will put something else in place on weekdays to replace that. Back to P17 then. Colagrosso and the number 14 Ferrari, who we saw had a bit of a mistake earlier on this race. They were slowly climbing back up the order, but nowhere near where they were at the start. And that's one of the Mercedes off track. Actually, sorry, that wasn't Van Horn earlier. That's Van Horn now from Assetto Racing Team off the track. They're currently in P26. A bit of a mistake there from them. It was actually another Mercedes who was off track earlier. It's P31. That is the United Sim Team. And currently Erwin in the car. I really hope I've said that correctly. Had a lovely livery on their car as well. Only running P31. Where do they start this race? P34. So they've gone. Well, they've made improvements in this race so far. But yeah, it is a lovely livery on the United Sim Team car. Let's have a look what else is going on further down the field. Just give everyone some screen time, of course. And we've just had a mistake from Van Horn's dropped 2 positions, possibly even 3. Sorry, let's have a quick look at this. Van Horn down into P29, and he's getting the rear end out here. What is going on? Van Horn is actually going to have to make way for the lead cars here. It seems like he's really struggling at the moment in the Mercedes. Could have been just a lapse in concentration going through turn 1. We know turn 1 is not an easy corner here at Brands Hatch. You'll feel, if you ever drive Brands Hatch in real life, in a car on slicks, you'll feel the rear moving beneath you. Quite a scary thing if you're not used to it. And well, in a rear wheel drive car, not as much, but in a front wheel drive car you will feel it quite badly. But Vesselink here, P29 in the mix now. He's got D'Angelo behind him, who's made a huge mistake. Too much curb there on entry to Dingledale corner, and sent his car slightly airborne. Vesselink, this isn't Formula Drift. No, I'm joking, but getting the rear end out there. We know the Porsche rear engine car, very easy to get the rear end out as well if you're a bit too happy, trigger happy with the throttle. And Malinovsky still holding that 11-second gap, although it has come down slightly. Huben last time again, 1:23. Oh, actually, Huben was a second quicker that last time round compared to Malinovsky. This could be close. This could be very close towards the end if these lap times are consistent. If Malinovsky's in the 24s consistently and Huben's in the 23s, but I doubt that. I think it would have just been a mistake that last lap from Malinovsky. Maybe had to get past some traffic. But he's still got a comfortable 10-second lead to Huben. Honzik was actually quicker than the top 2 that last time round. 1:23.357 from Honzik. So he's got the pace to keep up with the top 2, but the question is now, can he catch up to them? They're lapping fairly similar lap times. A 10th, I don't think is going to be enough in 15, a 10th a lap possibly not going to be enough in 15 minutes. But he can hope for the best and push as much as he can. It's not over till that checkered flag is waved. We've got Morant P13 right in the back of Faulkner. He's going to have a look down the inside. Isn't able to get that done just yet in the rear end. Once again on the Lamborghini. Out of shape. That's going to give Morant a brilliant run down towards Hawthorne Bend. He's going to have the outside here though. He's going to go for a switchback. We've seen this move happen earlier on in the race. And in fact, I believe it was Demori, Faulkner's teammate, who did that move on another driver. No, Faulkner held that off quite well. Morant looking for another move down the inside here, but not phasing Faulkner whatsoever. Now on board in the bottom right hand corner with Morant while we look through the rest of the field and see what else is going on. But P16 and 17 right close to each other once again. The number 14 Lamborghini battling with Colagrosso in this race. Alice Esports against Pitbull Racing. Now it's good to see we've got quite a few Ukrainian drivers as well participating in this championship. Ukrainian teams and drivers from all over the world really, and that's the good thing about sim racing. It brings everyone together, and Faulkner still fending off Morant. Looks like the number 14 Lamborghini is not going to let Colagrosso get close enough for an overtake. Back to our race lead, and then Malinovsky has opened up that gap again to Huben, 2/10 quicker than Huben that last time around. Let's have a look where Huben is losing the time. Let's have a look. Sector 1, you may not be able to read that on screen, but I will read it out for you guys anyways. Sector 1 was a 26.7 for Malinovsky, and for Huben it was a 26.8. Sector 2, the middle sector, 21.6 for Malinovsky and 21.8 for Huben, and looks like the final sector, both 35 seconds, very, very similar there. So all in all, it adds up to about 2-3 tenths quicker for Malinovsky that last time around. But the first two sectors is where Huben is losing the time. In fact, 7 thousandths of a second quicker in the final sector. They've just crossed the line once again, and there we go. Huben's losing so much time now to Malinovsky. 124 from Huben, and Malinovsky 123.6. About 4 tenths there between the two. Malinovsky now having to navigate his way through some traffic. Huben's probably going to have to do the same. He is. But let's have a look. P13 now. Pache and Salem battling for position. Yeah, TFJ, I'm not sure, Tico. It's just an error with the HUD and the driver swaps, of course. But no, everything is okay there. Veselink still got to serve his mandatory pit stop. Of course, he won't be able to because he is driving on his own. So we'll pick up a penalty at the end of the race automatically. And looks like we've got a 3-car battle here. Let's quickly switch off of this battle and go to P20. That looks like Verona, Zunavovic and Familuri all in a battle here. We're going to have to go on board with Familari here as they go through Druids. down towards turn 3 now. Famulari seems to have some good entry speed, but a bit hesitant on the exit. That's not really gained him anything, but look at that. Late on the brakes, on the entry. And he's been able to hold on the exit as well. So he's able to carry much more mid-corner speed too, this Famulari. That's going to help him close that gap to Zunobovic. And always made a mistake. Famulari's made a huge mistake there. Took too much curve. The car seemed to bottom out. And well, onto the grass and gravel he went. Now he's lost even more time. But it seems to be the thing. Once again, once we go on board with someone, they make a mistake. So it could be down to the pressure, or it's just clearly the commentator's curse. Back to Warner and Korolowski. These two in this second stint have been quite close to each other. Warner's not been able to get past, but he's got a brilliant opportunity now. If he can get a good exit through the final corner, he should be close enough into turn 1. I'm not sure he's going to be able to do it this time around. And looks like he has a look, but moves back over to the racing line to open up the corner. And in fact, runs slightly wide there. And it's not going to help his run up towards turn 2 Druids. Now, P4 and P5, Drovosekov and Santoro. We've seen these two quite close earlier on. Drovosekov has been able to now pull away from Santoro by about a second, but it seems like now Santoro is closing that gap down. 3 tenths, sorry, not 3 tenths, he was 5 tenths, half a second quicker last time compared to Drovosekov, so a huge mistake from VS Racing by Ballas Esports, of course. Just 8 minutes left of the race to go. And we've still got Colagrasso and the number 14 Lamborghini very, very close. It's P16 and 17 there. We'll try and take a look at them on our secondary screen if we can. I think I've got them now. There we go. Heading up towards the final corner. Extremely close, but we've had quite a few drivers here that have been so close, even on pace, maybe even quicker, but they just aren't able to get an opportunity to go for an overtake. It's just the nature of this track where it's so narrow. You may think, well, GT cars are a bit too big for Brands Hatch, but I assure you they're definitely not. There's some serious racing that is able to happen, and looks like that is Ehrenwen. They're off onto the grass, luckily keeping out the barriers, but I think she's dropped, no, still in P31. So we're continuing on. Luckily, once again, no damage to the car, but those tyres are not going to be happy after that spin. Let's go up to P24 and 25. That is Seiko and Fidel there. Looks like they're just getting past some traffic. And Seiko just out in front. Fidel still carrying that damage on the Jean Alesi Sports car, which is interesting. I would have thought they'd repaired it in the pits, and look at that. Who is that with that amount of damage in the BMW just behind? I'm trying to have a look at who that is. I think it might be Marco Retta in P32. And Seiko, yellow flags for Seiko. He's made a mistake and he's on the grass, struggling to get the car going once again. Luckily, no one close behind him there, so it was a pretty safe rejoin. But down to P25 he goes. and he's lost so much time. What a shame there. We've still got number 14 Lamborghini and Colagrasso, P15 and P16 batting for position. They've been inseparable, and there we go. Seiko moving off the racing line to let one of the lead cars through. Back to the race leader, Malinovsky then. 5 minutes left of the race to go. Malinovsky is holding that 10-11 second gap to Huben behind. A 1:23.3 that last time around from Malinovsky, so very close to the best lap of this second stint, which was a 1:23 run. But of course the best lap of the race so far overall was a 1:22.4, which is outstanding pace, and that of course was done by Boothby, I believe, who was in the car beforehand. We go back to P4 then. Drovosekov, who had about a second of a gap to Santoro's now. Well, that gap was short-lived, and he's under pressure in the final few laps, final few minutes of this race. This is the worst time to be under pressure when the race is so close to the end. And oh, there's been contact actually between Colagrasso and the number 14 Lamborghini, and looks like Drovosekov is staying ahead there of Santoro. It's a close one between the two, but Drovosekov holds on, and that's such a shame for the number 14 Lamborghini. In fact, they seem to still be... No, they're down in P16 now, and Colagrasso up ahead 2.5 seconds in front, so it's going to be down to the stewards, I think, between those two. Famulari in P22, still on the back of Zunobovic. He's super close now. Let's see if he can go for a move in his last few laps. The penultimate corner, there you go. Bit of indecisiveness there from Famulari with what gear to be in for that corner. Maybe drop down an extra gear to let the car rotate. But through the final corner, he's gained that time that he lost back, and he's just not close enough though into turn one. You can see there slightly different lines between the two. Oh, bit of oversteer there from Famulari. Looks like Zunobovic goes for a slightly later apex, so we can get that run up towards turn 2 that he needs, but running wide, that's well beyond track limits there for Zunobovic, and Famulari onto the grass he goes. Was unable to get the car slowed down enough to make the apex, and that gap is now over a second between the two. We go down to P31 and P32. This is a brilliant battle, looks like, at Macaretta and Ehrenwen. Yeah, batting for position, but look at the damage the number 77 BMW has on that car. That is crazy amounts of damage, but it looks like they may still be able to get an overtake done. No, they just don't have the exit speed to get alongside. That's, well, that's mainly down to the damage they've got, but of course they're in the battle. They're being blue flagged here, but that doesn't matter just yet. They just have to stick to their line and be predictable. Lamborghini behind so close, and surely he's going to be able to get past here. No, doesn't look like it just yet. And that's going to allow, I believe, that is one of the Red Kings Motorsport drivers. Is that... Oh, what's happened to Consford? He's facing the wrong way. Oh no, he's got going once again. That was extremely close. But I believe that was Vining, or Janitor if you like to call him, in P8. Just behind. In fact, Has he got in front now? I'm not sure what has happened. I don't think he has. I believe he was... they're not actually fighting for position, so that's okay. He's just lapping through some traffic now, but look who's right behind him. That's Warner, who looked to go for a move down the inside into Druids, but got all over the inside curb there, unset to the car. Luckily, there wasn't any contact, but now it's these three in a battle. But whereas Malinovsky is going to cross the lines to start the last lap. Now, I believe we may have a bit of an issue with the waiting time at the end of the race. So we may need to end it slightly early. But the results, of course, will remain as they are. That won't change whatsoever. It looks like Zunobovic into the pits. Is that heavy damage for them, or is it possibly a drive-through penalty? No, it is a drive-through penalty for them, so that's because of track limits. You do not want to be picking that up on the last lap. And now in the pits, that's going to drop them right down the order, and there we go. Unfortunately, we have had that error, but apologies for this. We will screenshot the results nevertheless. And of course, it will finish as it is with the drivers. So we will be back in just a moment. Malinovsky P1, Huben P2, and Honzik P3. We'll be back in just a moment. Right, ladies and gents, we're going to get some interviews at the end of the race. We've got Veloce in. Let's bring them in now. There we go. Brilliant race from you guys. Completely dominated the rest of the field. Qualifying was very close there, but I mean, you guys just lapped consistently and pulled away from the rest of the field. I mean, tell us how you're feeling.
I sort of kind of forgot about this race, so like last night I was a bit frantic, but thankfully like Brands is a really good track, you know, so at least for the McLaren, and then just in general I always seem to do quite well there. So yeah, put in the practice and I went a bit overtime, and yeah, it was looking good. So quali I did like really good laps, so happy with that. And then the race just kept it clean, pulled away, but the McLaren had just like the edge on tyre wear as well, and I was able to give the car to Mathieu with quite a gap. So yeah, really good start to this championship, and obviously it's important that we do well because this is the qualifier for the World Cup. So you know, I was kicking myself that I forgot. You know, I was really kicking myself because it's an important one for us. But no, they won't happen again, and we're going to be on it. You know, and hopefully keep getting good results for this championship to come.
Yeah, and how was the second stint then? Was it easy to navigate through the traffic, or was it quite difficult?
Yeah, actually, in terms of traffic, I was extremely happy with how it was on the track, because the standards with the back markers were really good. I don't remember last time I had such great experience with back markers, so that was amazing. Going through traffic was no problem at all. Everyone was behaving very nicely, and yeah, George just did such an amazing job in the first stint and qualifying as well. Obviously, that it was just about cruising home, bringing those points. Because yeah, for us it's just a championship to qualify for the World Cup, so super happy to get those points and get the championship started with the best result possible.
Yeah, the fastest lap of the race as well. Moving on to next round, Spa. McLaren's very quick there. Are you expecting another win?
I think
why not?
Yeah. Like, I don't think we can expect it because there are some really good McLaren drivers here. Like, I mean, just our own teammates in the Yas Heat car, Jarda and Valor are so fast. So, you know, I think we're definitely in for a shout, and you know, hopefully we can
looking at
get
the
win.
calendar today. We definitely got the result we really wanted, because Lambo was also super strong here, and we managed to beat those Lambos today. Then at Spa, this is going to be definitely a track for us, as well as Mount Panorama, so there we would like to score well, and that's going to give us a bit of breathing room potentially for the last two rounds.
Yeah, because the last two rounds are definitely more sort of Lamborghini or you know, favoured in the BOP department. So yeah, if we can like keep a healthy, you know, the goal is to have a healthy lead going into the last two rounds. Obviously, you know, anything can happen, but that's the plan at least.
Yeah, and if something does happen, of course, you do have a drop round in this championship as well. So
that's true as well, yeah.
You want to leave it to one of those rounds where you're not as dominant out.
Definitely. That's the plan.
Yeah, great to hear then. Anyways, congratulations on the result. Great opening to this championship for you guys. And we look forward to seeing you guys for Spa.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries. Take care, guys.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That was it for round one here for the Rags to Riches Championship. We will be live again next week for this as well at Spa, so be sure to tune in then, same time. But for now, thanks for watching, take care, and good night.